The eyes multiplied, shimmering across the rusted bars, their gaze heavy with judgment, as if they saw every mistake I'd made to earn my badge. The floor tiles churned violently, forming the word "stay here" in jagged, glowing lines across the concrete, shimmering green, as if scratched by unseen claws burrowing up from the station's foundation. In my partner's distorted and hollow voice, the cell hissed and whispered my name, accusing me of letting the suspect escape into the night. My breath became cloudy with thick clouds that clung to the bars as the air became bitterly cold. The beam of my flashlight caught a tall, featureless figure inside the cell, its limbs unnaturally long and skeletal, its void face glowing with those sickly eyes, and its stare pierced my skin like frostbite through my uniform. My flashlight flickered. The concrete gripped my boots with claw-like hands, emitted black tar, and had a decaying scent. Their touch burned with an acidic chill that thumped with my frantic heartbeat, leaving painful welts. The words changed to something new, became brighter, and the whispers grew louder until they shook the metal lockers at the station as I stumbled back, tripping over scattered files. The cell pulsed, reflecting eyeless faces moaning my guilt as blame, my failure, a badge tarnished beyond redemption. The figure's tarry hands raised, smearing blackened streaks on the walls, splintering the bars, and forming more screaming faces, each of which listed a regret I'd buried deep within my shame. I bolted for the office, my boots slipping on tar-slicked linoleum as the holding area quaked, the lockers collapsing, the faces screaming my name in a deafening, otherworldly chorus that echoed like 1,000 broken oaths. The figure's glowing eyes pierced the station's hazy windows as I fled into the freezing night, its shadow following. I quit the force, burned my uniform, but my keys glow at night, reflecting those pale eyes and their jagged teeth. My floorboards remain here in tar, shimmering in the moonlight, and the chill of that cursed shift never leaves me, burning my skin. Before you lock the door, some cells can see your failures. Story 2. The desk that screamed. The front desk screeched at 1 a.m., its chipped wooden surface forming a pale, eyeless face that screamed silently, its wail piercing the stillness of a rural Texas police station under a starless sky. I was with my cousin, a dispatcher, haunted by a failed case that let a murderer walk free. My sergeant's words, "You're useless," fringing in my head, like a relentless echo through the precinct's hum. The old drains at the station were leaking rotting, fishy stench and coffee smoke filled the air. The lobby was overflowing with crumpled papers, scuffed plastic chairs, and a faint glint of broken glass on the tiles. The face traced the words "come closer" in glowing, jagged lines across the desk's grain, pulsing red, as if written in blood oozing from the wood's cracks. The screen grew louder, the desk trembling, its drawers splitting open to reveal Carving's name. My failures, my lost cases set, as if by invisible claws, pulsing with a sickly green light that stung my eyes like static. The air chilled, my breath catching in my throat, as the linoleum oozed black sludge, forming slimy hands that gripped my ankles, their icy touch scorching the tiles with a burning chill that left faint, ashen marks. Shadows danced in the flickering flashlight beam, tall and impossibly thin, their void faces grinning with jagged, unseen teeth, their limbs stretching like twisted handcuffs crawling up the peeling walls. A chorus of the wail referred to my shamefully tampered evidence and the escaped killers. A career crumbling into nothing growing, into a shriek that shook the station's flimsy partitions. My radio died, then flared, its static showing figures rising from the sludge. Their mouths wail in a distorted loop about my failures, their claws dripping, their green eyes glowing. The sludge hands tightened, the words shifting to you, called us, the carvings bleeding black oil that reeked of decay, pooling into more accusing faces that writhed across the floor. My name was screamed at in a deafening, eerie roar that had the power to shatter the windows as the desk erupted and its surface split wider, forming faceless faces. We raced toward the station's exit, sprinting past chairs that had fallen, the lobby creaking, the flashlight lighting up in flashes, and the figures lunging with clawed hands, their touch freezing the air. Screams chased us into the dim parking lot as the sludge flooded the tiles and formed numerous faces. I escaped, the station trembling behind me, but my desks hum at night, tracing "come closer" and glowing lines across their surfaces, the stench of rot lingering in every corner. Some desks sing back to you your failures. Story 3. The hall that breathed. In an aging police station in a small California town under a starless sky, the peeling, yellowed walls of the hallway pulsed at 2 a.m., creating a pale, faceless face that whispered softly and chilled my blood to ice. I was a veteran officer who was grieving the loss of my partner in a shootout that I had no control over. His last words, "You weren't there," burning in my memory like a wound that refused to heal. The air was sharp with faded gunpowder and a coppery, blood-like temps that stung my nostrils. The hall cluttered with dented file cabinets, stained tiles, and a faint glint of broken glass under flickering fluorescent bulbs casting jagged shadows. The face whispered, "Stay with me," and his voice warped and hollow, accusing me of absence during his final, blood-soaked moments on that rain-slicked street. The tiles oozed black tar, reeking of decay, pooling into clawing hands that burned my legs with an acid-like heat that throbbed with each desperate heartbeat, leaving welts that pulsed with pain. The air grew heavier, the walls thickening, dripping black oil that formed accusing faces of my partners. My squads, my own mouths moving silently, blaming me for missing his final cries, his blood, pooling under flickering streetlights. My flashlight flickered, its beam revealing figures in the chat stall, their limbs twisting like gnarled vines scraping the cabinet's edges, leaving wet, glowing marks that pulsed green in the dark. My name was yelled in the hallway, the tar hands clenched, and the burns on my skin lingered like guilt-etched scars. The bulbs flickered out, the station closing in, the oil flooding the tiles, shaping countless faces that echoed my grief. In a chorus of unrelenting rage, their eyes hollow, yet piercing, the figures lunged with clawed hands and the cabinets shook violently. Their screams overwhelmed my senses and drowned out my own panicked breaths. With a metal chair, I smashed through the back door, my hands bleeding as the wood split and tar filled the hallway. The faces roared his name in a relentless, haunting wail that seemed to tear through the station's walls. I fled to the empty street, the station splintering behind me, the screams chasing me through the freezing, shadowed night. I resigned from the force, burned my badge, but my mirrors fog at night, forming my eyeless face in the glass, glowing faintly green in the dark. My hands burn with the word "stay," etched into my skin like a brand, and the air smells of tar, whispering his name in the stillness. Some halls hold your grief forever. Which of these police station nightmares would you survive until shift's end? Share your own chilling encounters in the comments. Have you ever felt eyes watching from the shadows of a precinct? Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for more terrors from the shadows. Something darker waits in the next cell block. We hope to see you there. Everyone is welcome. Before the video begins, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share in the comments. Regardless of where you are or what time you watch, it helps YouTube deliver the best horror straight to your screen. Let's get started now. When the lights at a police station go out, what lurks in the shadows? Some precincts cradle secrets darker than their cells, their whispers slithering through locked doors, weaving terrors that cling long after the shift ends. Tonight, we step into 3 chilling tales of police station horrors, where the badge's shine hides something alive. Lock the cells, check the corners, and listen closely, because some stations claim more than your duty. Story 1. The Eye-Starting Cell. The cell bars pulsed at midnight, their rusted iron forming pale, unblinking eyes that glowed with a sickly green light. I was a rookie officer on the night shift, staring from the shadows of a small Montana police station under a moonless sky. I was devastated by an unsuccessful arrest that allowed a dangerous suspect to slip through my partner's words, severing your incompetence like a dull knife into my soul. The sour, metallic odor of old blood seeping through the cracks in the cell, and the thick layer of stale sweat filled the air. The holding area was cluttered with scuffed linoleum floors, flickering fluorescent bulbs, and faint scratches on the concrete walls like claw marks etched by something trapped inside.